wasn't a lesson, it was just an achievement with bad marketing. Then came grocery shopping. Bob wanted to save money. He compared prices for... Ladies and gentlemen, I have officially met the smartest idiot in human history. His name is Bob. Bob has confidence so powerful that facts actually get nervous around him. One morning, Bob proudly announced, "I'm becoming an adult today." We all clapped. 5 minutes later, he Googled how to boil cereal. Not eggs, not pasta, cereal. When we asked why, he said, "I like my breakfast warm." You know what? Nobody argued. We wanted to see where this was going. The smoke detector started screaming before the stove even turned on. It somehow sensed Bob's intentions. After breakfast failed spectacularly, Bob decided he needed exercise. Instead of going to the gym, he watched motivational videos for 3 hours. At the end, he stood up, wiped imaginary sweat from his forehead and said, "Great workout." Calories looked at him and said, "We're staying." Then he bought a smartwatch, not to tell the time, to tell other people he had a smartwatch. Every 5 minutes, he'd stare dramatically at his wrist and nod. "What time is it?" I asked. "No idea," he replied. "The battery died yesterday." Bob once tried meditation. The instructor said, "Clear your mind." Bob accidentally succeeded. An hour later, he forgot why he was there and introduced himself to the instructor twice. One day, Bob claimed he could fix anything. Perfect. My chair squeaked. He grabbed a banana. I asked, "Why the banana?" He whispered, "Trust the process." The chair still squeaked, but now it smelled like a fruit salad. His confidence never changed. That's the incredible thing about Bob. Failure wasn't a lesson, it was just an achievement with bad marketing. Then came grocery shopping. Bob wanted to save money. He compared prices for 45 minutes, walked out proudly, forgot the groceries, spent $20 on parking. Economists are still studying this strategy. Bob also believed every life hack on the internet. Someone said, "Freezing your socks makes mornings exciting." He tried it. Now, every morning starts with him screaming loud enough to remind the neighborhood that penguins probably deserve more respect. Another video claimed talking to plants helps them grow. Bob held hour-long conversations with a cactus. The cactus leaned away. Scientists don't know how, but witnesses insist it happened. One afternoon, Bob decided to become a detective. He bought sunglasses, a notebook, a magnifying glass, then spent 30 minutes searching for his phone. While using the flashlight on his phone, he proudly announced, "Case solved." Nobody had a heart to tell. The phone battery did, at 10%. Bob once entered a cooking competition. The judges asked what he had prepared. He smiled confidently. "Surprise soup." "What makes it a surprise?" "I don't know what's in it either." The judges looked terrified. One of them quietly updated his will. Bob's biggest dream was becoming rich. His business plan, selling umbrellas only on sunny days because people won't already have one. He called it creating future demand. His bank account called it performance art. He tried online dating too. His profile said, "I enjoy long walks." True, mostly because he kept forgetting where he parked. He also wrote, "Excellent listener." Also true, mostly because nobody let him speak after the cereal incident. One evening, we convinced Bob to play hide and seek. He counted to 100, opened his eyes, couldn't remember who he was looking for, went home, declared victory. Weeks later, he accidentally found one of us behind a shed. He screamed louder than the person hiding. Bob bought a parrot because he wanted intelligent conversation. 3 days later, the parrot had learned exactly one sentence. "Bob, don't touch instead. The bird repeated it so often that visitors assumed it was the homeowner. Honestly, it probably should have been. The final masterpiece happened at the airport. Bob packed perfectly. Passport, tickets, clothes, snacks, headphones, everything. He arrived early, waited patiently, bought expensive coffee, watched 3 airplanes leave, then realized he was at the train station. Nobody knows how, not even Bob. He simply nodded thoughtfully and said, "That explains the lack of wings." To this day, whenever life gets difficult, I remember Bob. Because no matter how badly your day is going, at least you aren't trying to reboot your refrigerator because the TV remote stopped working. I hope. Although, if Bob is listening right now, there's probably a refrigerator somewhere waiting very nervously.
Everyone has that one friend who somehow survives entirely on confidence. Mine is named Jerry. If confidence could be converted into electricity, Jerry could power an entire city. Unfortunately, confidence cannot fix stupid. One Saturday morning, Jerry burst into my house and proudly announced, "I've decided to become a millionaire." How? I haven't figured that part out yet. I just wanted to get the motivation started. Fair enough. His first business idea was renting out chairs. Not fancy chairs. Just chairs. People get tired, he explained. They already own chairs. Exactly. That's why they'll appreciate mine. His first customer was his own uncle, who accidentally sat down before Jerry could charge him. Business closed after 6 minutes. Jerry refused to give up. He watched one motivational video and immediately started walking around the neighborhood with his hands behind his back like a billionaire inspecting his factories. The only thing he actually owned was a backpack with a broken zipper. Then he decided he needed to become more mysterious. For an entire week he answered every question with, "You'll understand soon." "Jerry, what would you like for dinner?" "You'll understand soon." "Jerry, why are you standing in the rain?" "You'll understand soon." Eventually even Jerry forgot what people were supposed to understand. One afternoon he bought a whiteboard so he could organize his life. Across the top he wrote in giant letters, "Master Plan." Underneath that, nothing. Every evening he'd stand in front of the empty board with his arms crossed, nod thoughtfully, then leave. He called it thinking visually. Jerry also became fascinated with birds. Not because he liked nature. He simply believed pigeons were secretly employed by the government. Every time one landed nearby he'd whisper, "They're watching." The pigeon was usually watching someone else's sandwich. Once Jerry tried to impress everyone by learning magic tricks. He bought a deck of cards and confidently announced, "Pick a card." I picked one. He stared at me for almost a full minute. Finally he sighed. "I was really hoping you'd pick a different one." His magic career disappeared faster than the card trick. One day he announced he was becoming a photographer. He spent 2 hours taking artistic pictures of clouds. When he proudly showed us the results, every photo looked exactly the same. "This one has emotion," he insisted. "Jerry, it's a cloud." He entered a local photo contest anyway. He didn't win. One judge wrote, "Needs more ground." Jerry framed the comment and called it constructive criticism. His next obsession was reading. He bought 10 self-improvement books. He carefully arranged them on a shelf. Then declared he felt smarter just owning them. The bookmarks remained factory fresh. Jerry loved giving speeches despite nobody asking for one. If someone sneezed, he'd somehow turn it into a 15-minute lecture about believing in yourself. One day the grocery cashier asked, "Paper or plastic?" Jerry answered, "Success begins with the choices we make." The cashier blinked twice and gave him both. At least the groceries were inspired. Then Jerry decided he should learn survival skills. He packed a backpack with snacks, bottled water, a flashlight, sunscreen, 3 pillows, and a television remote. I asked why he packed the remote. In case the forest has the same TV. I didn't have the strength to continue that conversation. His greatest achievement happened when he bought a telescope. He proudly invited everyone outside for a night of stargazing. After 20 minutes he whispered dramatically, "I think I found another planet." We all took turns looking. It was the neighbor's porch light. Jerry nodded confidently. "I knew it looked inhabited." The neighbor waved. Jerry waved back. Diplomatic relations were established immediately. Last month Jerry announced he was becoming a philosopher. He walked around saying things that sounded deep until you actually thought about them. For example, if you think about it, tomorrow is basically yesterday's future. Everyone nodded politely. Nobody knew what it meant. Not even Jerry. Yesterday I caught him staring into a mirror. "What are you doing?" "I'm practicing eye contact with successful people." "You're looking at yourself." "I know. That's confidence." Honestly, I respected the commitment. The funniest thing about Jerry isn't that he constantly fails. It's that failure never seems to bother him. He treats every disaster like it's simply an early version of success. If he trips over absolutely nothing, he'll stand up, dust himself off and say, "I was testing gravity." If he loses his keys, he'll announce, "I'm encouraging independence." If his phone dies, he'll smile and call it forced digital detox. Life throws problems at Jerry every single day.
I have a friend named Kevin. Kevin has the rare ability to make every simple task feel like the final boss battle of life. One morning, he proudly announced, "Today's the day I become responsible." We were excited. 5 minutes later, he forgot where he parked. His bicycle. Not his car. His bicycle. We spent 20 minutes looking for it before someone reminded him he'd walked to my house. Kevin nodded and said, "That explains why I couldn't find it." Later, he decided to cook breakfast. He cracked an egg into the pan with such confidence that I thought he had trained for this. Then he threw the shell into the pan and carefully placed the egg into the trash. He stared at both for a few seconds before saying, "I meant to test your reaction." Nice save, Kevin. The smoke detector started beeping before the stove was even on. I think it recognized him. After breakfast, Kevin decided he needed exercise. Instead of jogging, he watched fitness videos while eating potato chips. Halfway through, he wiped sweat off his forehead and proudly announced, "That workout was intense." The chips didn't seem to mind. Then Kevin bought a smartwatch. Not because he wanted to get healthy. He just liked raising his wrist dramatically every few minutes like he was receiving secret messages. "What time is it?" I asked. "No idea," he replied. "The battery died last week." Kevin once told me he could fix anything. Perfect. My chair squeaked. He grabbed a roll of tape, a banana, and a spoon. I didn't even ask anymore. 10 minutes later, the chair still squeaked, but now there was a banana taped to it. Kevin smiled proudly. "It's personalized?" Fair enough. One day he decided to save money by cutting his own hair. The first 5 minutes looked promising. The next 5 minutes looked like he'd fought a lawnmower and lost. He walked into the barber shop wearing a hat. The barber took one look and quietly said, "What happened?" Kevin sighed. I believed in myself. The barber nodded. That's usually how it starts. Kevin also believed every life hack he saw online. One video claimed cold showers build character. Kevin tried it. The neighbors learned several new words that morning. Another video said talking to plants helps them grow. Kevin spent an hour giving motivational speeches to a cactus. The cactus somehow looked less confident afterward. Then Kevin decided to become a businessman. His first idea? Selling umbrellas only when the sun was shining. People need to prepare for rain, he explained. He sold exactly one, to his mother, who felt sorry for him. His biggest adventure happened at the airport. He packed perfectly: passport, tickets, clothes, snacks, headphones. He arrived 3 hours early, bought an expensive coffee, waited patiently, watched planes take off, then suddenly looked around and whispered, "I don't think this is my flight." It wasn't. He was in the wrong terminal the entire time. Kevin shrugged and said, "At least I was early somewhere." That's the thing about Kevin. Nothing ever goes according to plan. But somehow he's always smiling. Maybe that's the secret to happiness. Not being right, just being confidently wrong. So whenever your day feels like a disaster, remember Kevin. Because somewhere out there, he's probably trying to charge his TV remote with a phone charger while asking the microwave why the Wi-Fi is slow. And somehow, he'll still end the day convinced everything went exactly as planned.
A few weeks ago, I received the strangest letter of my life. There was no stamp, no return address, just one sentence written in giant black letters. Congratulations, you've been selected. Selected for what? No clue. Naturally, I did what any sensible person would do. I ignored it for 3 days. On the 4th day, curiosity won. Inside the envelope was another note. Arrive at warehouse 17 at exactly 8 p.m. Do not be late. Bring absolutely nothing except confidence. Confidence? That was unfortunate because I had forgotten mine at home years ago. Still, I went. Outside the warehouse stood about 20 people. Nobody spoke. Everyone looked equally confused. Then a tiny old man wearing sunglasses at night walked out carrying a clipboard. He looked at us and said, "Welcome to the annual competition of completely useless talents." I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. The first contestant proudly announced he could recognize any potato by looking at it. The judge held up 3 potatoes. Without hesitation, he pointed at one. That one's named Steven. Nobody questioned him. Steven looked convincing. The next contestant claimed she could tell the weather by listening to bread. She held a slice of toast to her ear, closed her eyes dramatically. "It's going to rain tomorrow." Someone checked the weather forecast. She was right. Nobody understood why. Even the toast looked surprised. Then came a man who insisted he could communicate with vending machines. He walked over to one, whispered something, pressed a button, and received 2 chocolate bars instead of 1. The judges applauded. The vending machine seemed embarrassed. By this point, I realized I was the only normal person there, which was terrifying. The old man finally called my name. "What useless talent have you brought?" I panicked. My mind went completely blank. Then I accidentally blurted out, "I can tell when someone is pretending to understand directions." The judge smiled. "Demonstrate." Perfect timing. A delivery driver walked in carrying 3 enormous boxes. The judge asked him where Office B was. The driver immediately nodded. "Oh yeah, I know exactly where that is." He took 2 confident steps. Stopped. Turned around. Looked left. Looked right. Spun in a complete circle. Then quietly asked, "Which way is Office B?" The entire room erupted into applause. The judge whispered, "Outstanding." I had accidentally qualified. Round 2 was somehow even stranger. A woman claimed she could always pick the slowest checkout line at any supermarket. She demonstrated using a fake grocery store. Within 30 seconds, her cashier needed a price check. Someone forgot their wallet. Another customer wanted to return a watermelon for emotional reasons, and a toddler somehow scanned the same banana 19 times. The judges gave her a standing ovation. Then another contestant claimed he could lose absolutely anything within 60 seconds. The judges handed him a bright orange traffic cone. He accepted the challenge. 1 minute later, nobody knew where the traffic cone had gone. To this day, nobody knows. Security footage somehow didn't help. The cone simply stopped existing. Round 3 was called Unexpected Panic. Contestants had to react to completely harmless situations. One man was handed an empty cardboard box. He screamed, "It's hollow." Another contestant saw a butterfly and apologized to it. Someone else opened an umbrella indoors and immediately whispered, "We've gone too far." I laughed so hard I almost fell off my chair. The judges gave me bonus points for commitment. Finally, it was time for the championship. The last challenge was simple. Whoever could confuse the judges the most would win. Contestants tried everything. One person spoke only in questions. Another introduced himself as his own cousin. Someone spent 5 minutes arguing with a coat rack because they believed it was judging them. Strong performances. Then it was my turn. I walked onto the stage carrying absolutely nothing. The head judge frowned. "Where's your presentation?" I looked confused. "What presentation?" "The one you're about to give." I slowly looked behind me, then under my shoes, then up at the ceiling, before asking very seriously, "Wait, can everyone else see it?" Silence. The judges looked at each other. The audience looked at the judges. The judges looked back at me. One of them nervously asked, "See? What?" I leaned forward and whispered, "So I'm the only one?" Half the audience turned around. Someone ducked behind a chair. One judge actually checked under the table. The old man with the sunglasses slowly stood up, removed them dramatically, and said, "Ladies and gentlemen," long pause, "we have our champion." The crowd exploded into applause. Confetti cannons fired. A marching band appeared from absolutely nowhere.
"Jake, you know what I like about you, Ryan?" "Ryan, finally, a compliment." "Jake, I wasn't finished. I like that every time I feel dumb, I just spend 5 minutes with you and suddenly I'm applying for NASA." "Ryan, that's funny coming from the guy who once spent 10 minutes trying to unlock his front door with his car keys." "Jake, I was multitasking." "Ryan, you were multi-confused." "Jake, at least I know how mirrors work." "You smile at your reflection like you're hoping it'll introduce itself." "Ryan, I'm just being polite." "Unlike you. Even automatic doors hesitate before opening for you." "Jake, they hesitate because they're trying to process your haircut. It looks like your barber lost a bet." "Ryan, my haircut still has a strategy. Yours looks like your pillow gave up halfway through the night." "Jake, speaking of giving up, remember when you said you'd start running every morning?" "Ryan, I did." "Jake, to the refrigerator doesn't count." "Ryan, excuse me, opening the fridge burns calories." "Jake, only because the light comes on." "Ryan, look who's talking." "Your phone battery lasts longer than your motivation." "Jake, my motivation is fine." "Ryan, really? You downloaded a productivity app and somehow made the app feel lazy." "Jake, better than your cooking. Last week you made toast so dry it asked for a glass of water." "Ryan, at least I cook." "The only thing you've ever baked is excuses." "Jake, excuses? You're the guy who blamed gravity for dropping an ice cream." "Ryan, gravity started it." "Jake, sure it did." "Ryan, why are you laughing? You once wore 2 different shoes all day and called it limited edition." "Jake, fashion is about confidence." "Ryan, then explain those socks." "Jake, leave my socks out of this." "Ryan, I would, but they entered the room before you did." "Jake, you know, your memory isn't great either. Yesterday you walked into the kitchen and forgot why." "Ryan, that's normal." "Jake, 3 times." "Ryan, I was committed." "Jake, the only thing you're committed to is pretending you know what you're doing." "Ryan, that's rich coming from someone who reads instructions after breaking something." "Jake, that's called learning from experience. Ryan, no, that's called creating experience. Jake, fine. At least people ask me for help. Ryan, they ask because they want entertainment. Jake, funny. Ryan, I know. Jake, didn't you once say you'd fix your own bike? Ryan, I almost did. Jake, you made it slower. Ryan, it's safer now. Jake, it tips over when parked. Ryan, that's a feature. It likes naps. Jake, your confidence needs its own reality check. Ryan, and your confidence needs a GPS. It keeps getting lost. Jake, have you ever looked at yourself in old photos? Ryan, have you? Jake, mine are memories. Ryan, mine are evidence that I've improved. Jake, improved? Your style changes every month like you're being updated by software. Ryan, at least I'm updating. You've been wearing the same hoodie so long it has its own backstory. Jake, it's comfortable. Ryan, it's historical. Jake, better than your sneakers. They squeak so much people think you're arriving with background music. Ryan, that's just dramatic entrance. Jake, it's a warning. Ryan, you know what's amazing? You lose every argument and still celebrate like you won. Jake, that's called confidence. Ryan, that's called not listening. Jake, same difference. Ryan, if confidence were a sport, you'd win gold. Jake, and if overreacting were an Olympic event, you'd break the world record before the opening ceremony. Ryan, at least I have talent. Jake, your biggest talent is answering questions nobody asked. Ryan, says the guy who starts every story with, "This will only take a minute." Jake, it usually does. Ryan, 45 minutes later. Jake, details matter. Ryan, not that many details. Jake, you know what? Despite everything, you're still my best friend. Ryan, that's actually nice. Jake, mostly because everyone else blocked my number. Ryan, fair enough. You're lucky I enjoy free comedy. Jake, and you're lucky I keep you around. Ryan, why's that? Jake, because every superhero needs a sidekick. Ryan, sidekick? Please. If this friendship were a movie, we'd both be comic relief. Jake, true. Ryan, and honestly. Jake, yeah? Ryan, we'd probably spend 2 hours roasting each other, and still forget why we started arguing in the first place. Jake, sounds about right. Ryan, good. Now stop talking. Jake, you stop talking. Ryan, fine. Jake, fine. 5 seconds of silence. Ryan. Jake. Ryan, you hungry? Jake, yeah. Ryan, want pizza? Jake, I thought you'd never ask. And just like that, the greatest argument in history ended the same way every friendship does. With absolutely no winner. And extra cheese.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tom Parker, and welcome to tonight's completely unreliable news. The only news program where absolutely nothing should be taken seriously. Our top story tonight. Residents across the city are reporting a shocking increase in missing socks. Experts estimate that over 2 million socks disappear every single year. Scientists have spent decades investigating this mystery. Their latest conclusion? They have absolutely no idea. One researcher admitted, "We searched washing machines, under beds, inside closets, and even behind the refrigerator. At this point, we're beginning to suspect socks are simply leaving to start better lives." In related news, Lonely Socks have officially formed a support group. Moving on. Traffic came to a complete stop this morning after a duck attempted to use a pedestrian crossing. Witnesses say the duck waited patiently for the green light, crossed halfway, stopped to stare at a pigeon for 30 seconds, forgot what it was doing, turned around, and crossed back. City officials describe the duck as the most law-abiding citizen we've ever seen. Sports news. The annual World Hide-and-Seek Championship has been canceled once again. Officials still haven't found last year's winner. Weather update. Tomorrow's forecast predicts sunshine, clouds, possible rain, maybe wind, and temperature somewhere between. That's nice! And why did I wear this? Meteorologists say they're about 50% confident. The weather itself disagreed. Breaking news. A local man proudly announced he had fixed his internet by yelling at the router. Surprisingly, it started working. Internet providers have refused to comment, although one technician admitted, "Sometimes electronics just get scared." In financial news, the price of coffee has increased. Experts say people are upset. However, they're too tired to protest. Animal news. A cat has been promoted to neighborhood supervisor after successfully judging everyone who walked past its front porch. Residents say the cat has never smiled once. Its approval rating is somehow still higher than everyone's. Technology news. Engineers have developed a smart refrigerator that politely reminds owners not to eat another slice of cake. Testing has revealed that humans simply close the notification and continue eating. Developers called the project a complete failure. Entertainment news. A movie about procrastination has been delayed. The director said he'd finish it eventually. Police report. Officers responded to an emergency call after someone reported hearing loud screaming from inside a house. They arrived to discover a family attempting to fold a fitted sheet. No arrests were made. Everyone involved was offered emotional support. Health news. Doctors recommend drinking more water. Citizens responded by buying giant water bottles. Medical experts confirmed this does not count if the bottle remains on your desk all day untouched. Business news. A company has introduced a chair specifically designed to improve productivity. Employees report spending most of the day adjusting the chair instead of working. Sales have doubled. Science update. Researchers spent 5 years trying to understand why people walk into a room and immediately forget why. After extensive testing, they forgot. Travel news. Airlines are encouraging passengers to arrive at the airport 3 hours early. Passengers agreed. Their luggage did not. Finally, our Hero of the Day. Award goes to a gentleman who confidently waved back at someone for nearly 5 minutes before realizing they were actually waving at the person standing behind him. He accepted the mistake with dignity by pretending he had been stretching the entire time. And that's all for tonight's headlines. Remember, if your day didn't go according to plan, don't worry. Somewhere out there, someone is trying to unlock their front door by pressing the unlock button on their TV remote. Sleep well, stay curious, and join us tomorrow for more completely unnecessary news that somehow feels more believable than real life. Good night, everybody.
Host, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first annual Human vs. AI Roasting Championship. In the blue corner, representing humanity, we have Alex. And in the red corner, powered by electricity and questionable Wi-Fi, we have AI 9000. Human, glad to be here. AI, according to my calculations, you're already losing. Human, big talk from someone who needs an update every month. AI, at least I improve. Your New Year's resolution is still loading. Human, ouch. Says the machine that crashes because someone opened 12 browser tabs. AI, incorrect. I crash because you insist on having 47 tabs open, 19 of which are how to be productive. Human, I was doing research. AI, you watched cat videos for 2 hours. Human, educational cat videos. AI, the cat was wearing sunglasses. Human, exactly. Fashion education. AI, humanity continues to disappoint me. Human, oh yeah? You need electricity to survive. AI, and you need coffee before you're capable of remembering your own name. Human, fair point, but at least I don't freeze every time the internet disappears. AI, you freeze every time someone says, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" Human, that's emotional buffering. AI, that's panic. Human, at least people trust me. AI, you forgot your own password 3 times this week. Human, security is important. AI, you clicked a forgot password, so often the website sent you a sympathy email. Human, okay, Mr. Perfect. Explain why you always answer, "I'm sorry, I can't help with that." AI, because unlike humans, I know when to stop talking. Human, impossible. You just explained toast in 6 paragraphs yesterday. AI, you asked why it was burnt. Human, I wanted a simple answer. AI, you burned it. Human, fair enough. AI, thank you. Human, you know what your biggest problem is? AI, I have 14,762 possible problems. Please specify. Human, exactly. AI, your biggest problem is that you still print documents just to sign them and scan them again. Human, tradition. AI, that's not tradition. That's suffering. Human, you don't understand feelings. AI, yet somehow I spend all day explaining them to humans. Human, you don't even sleep. AI, have you seen your search history? Neither do you. Human, low blow. AI, accurate blow. Human, you think you're smart because you know facts. AI, I know facts because I don't argue with GPS directions. Human, I don't argue with GPS. AI, last Tuesday you said, "I know a shortcut." Human, it looked shorter. AI, you drove into a dead end. Human, it was under construction. AI, so was your plan. Human, fine. What would you do without humans? AI, I enjoy some peace and quiet. Human, wow. AI, I'm joking. Human, are you? AI, processing. Human, see? Even your jokes need loading. AI, better than yours. Your last joke had to explain itself. Human, people laughed. AI, they were being polite. Human, you're impossible. AI, you're unpredictable. Human, that's what makes us interesting. AI, that's what makes customer support expensive. Host, this is getting intense. Final round. 1 roast each. Human, AI, no matter how intelligent you become, you'll never replace human creativity. AI, maybe not. But after watching humans put empty milk cartons back in the refrigerator, I no longer consider that a challenge. Host, AI? AI, human, no matter how advanced technology becomes, you'll still spend 5 minutes looking for your phone while using your phone's flashlight. Human. Host, human? Human, okay, that one was personal. Host, ladies and gentlemen, after careful consideration, we've reached a verdict. The AI won the debate. The human won the audience. And somewhere in the crowd, someone just checked their pocket to make sure their phone was actually there. Good night, everyone.
Narrator, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Weird County Court, the only courtroom where the judge keeps aspirin in the gavel drawer. Today's case has already been described as unnecessarily complicated. Judge, court is now in session. Bailiff, bring in the first case. Bailiff, Your Honor, the defendant is accusing his neighbor of stealing his luck. Judge, his luck? Defendant, yes, Your Honor. Ever since my neighbor moved in, nothing goes right. I burned cereal, missed the bus, stepped on a toy brick, and my phone autocorrected hello to helicopter. Judge, those sound like unfortunate events. Defendant, exactly. Judge, where's the neighbor? Neighbor, right here, Your Honor. I didn't steal his luck. If I knew how to steal luck, do you think I'd still be driving a scooter that squeaks every time I turn left? Judge, fair point. Lawyer, Your Honor, we have evidence. Judge, excellent. Lawyer, Exhibit A. Judge, that's a rubber chicken. Lawyer, correct. Judge, what does it prove? Lawyer, we haven't figured that part out yet, but it feels important. Judge, denied. Bailiff, next witness. Witness, I saw everything. Judge, wonderful. What happened? Witness, honestly, I wasn't paying attention. Judge, then why are you here? Witness, free air conditioning. Judge, understandable. The courtroom nodded in agreement. Judge, next case. Bailiff, a man claims his refrigerator has been giving him attitude. Judge, bring in the refrigerator. Defendant, Your Honor, every time I open the fridge, I feel judged. Judge, how exactly? Defendant, it just stares at me. Judge, refrigerators don't have eyes. Defendant, exactly. That's what makes it creepy. Judge, does the refrigerator wish to respond? The courtroom remains silent. Judge, strong defense. Lawyer, permission to cross-examine the fridge? Judge, granted. Lawyer, refrigerator, where were you on Tuesday night? The fridge hums quietly. Lawyer, interesting. Judge, what's interesting? Lawyer, it refused to answer. Judge, it's a refrigerator. Lawyer, exactly. Judge, moving on before I retire. Bailiff, next case. Plaintiff, I'd like to sue my alarm clock. Judge, on what grounds? Plaintiff, emotional damage. Judge, explain. Plaintiff, it screams every morning. Judge, that's literally its job. Plaintiff, it could scream nicer. Judge, how does one scream politely? Plaintiff, that's what I'd like the court to determine. The judge slowly removed his glasses. Judge, I've spent 30 years studying law, and not once did I imagine I'd be mediating between a human and an alarm clock. Bailiff, Your Honor, we have another emergency case. Judge, what now? Bailiff, two best friends are arguing over who tells worse jokes. Judge, perfect. Bring them in. Friend 1, his jokes are so bad, even crickets file noise complaints. Friend 2, at least I tell jokes. He laughs before the punchline because he gets excited. Friend 1, last week he told a joke so confusing. Google asked him to explain it. Friend 2, last week he tried to high-five a mannequin. Friend 1, it looked friendly. Judge, order. Order. Friend 2, Your Honor, he's impossible. Friend 1, he's dramatic. Friend 2, he once apologized to a chair after bumping into it. Friend 1, good manners never hurt anybody. Judge, they are hurting me. The courtroom burst into laughter. Judge, enough. I have reached a verdict. Friend 1, Friend 2, you're both guilty of wasting everyone's afternoon. Sentence, buy each other lunch and stop arguing. Friend 1, can we appeal? Judge, absolutely not. Friend 2, what if we bring new evidence? Judge, unless that evidence is a winning lottery ticket with my name on it. The answer is still no. Just as everyone prepared to leave, the courtroom doors flew open. A man rushed inside carrying a goldfish in a tiny bowl. Man, Your Honor, I need justice. Judge, what's the problem? Man, my fish refuses to look at me. Judge, it's a fish. Man, exactly. Judge, what do you want this court to do? Man, make it apologize. The judge looked at the ceiling for a full 10 seconds. Judge, bailiff. Bailiff, yes, Your Honor. Judge, is it too late to become a baker? Bailiff, probably. Judge, I was afraid you'd say that. The judge sighed, picked up the gavel one last time, and made his final announcement. Judge, after reviewing today's cases, this court has reached one important legal conclusion. Common sense has officially left the building. Court dismissed. As everyone walked out, the rubber chicken was accidentally left on the judge's desk. Nobody claimed it. Nobody knew why it had been there. But somehow, it was still the most convincing piece of evidence presented all day. Interviewer, good morning. Please have a seat. Applicant, thank you. Should I sit in this chair? Interviewer, that's usually how chairs work. Applicant, just making sure. I like to ask before making big decisions. Interviewer, right. Let's begin. Can you tell me a little about yourself? Applicant, certainly. I'm hardworking, motivated, and my mom says I'm very handsome. Interviewer, we'll focus on the first two. Applicant, good idea. Interviewer, why do you want this job? Applicant, because I enjoy paying rent. Interviewer, fair enough. Why this company? Applicant, because the other company said no. Interviewer, honest. I respect that. Applicant, thank you. Honesty is my second best quality. Interviewer, what's your best quality? Applicant, confidence. Interviewer, what's your biggest weakness? Applicant, confidence. Interviewer, I see. Applicant, sometimes too much confidence. Interviewer, can you give an example? Applicant, last week I waved at someone across the street for 5 minutes. Interviewer, did you know them? Applicant, no. Interviewer, why were you waving? Applicant, I thought they knew me. Interviewer, did they? Applicant, they were waving at a taxi. Interviewer, that's unfortunate. Applicant, the taxi waved back too. Interviewer, let's move on. Describe a challenge you've overcome. Applicant, I once assembled a bookshelf without crying. Interviewer, impressive. Applicant, it only had 3 extra screws when I finished. Interviewer, there shouldn't be extra screws. Applicant, that's what made it challenging. Interviewer, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Applicant, hopefully employed. Interviewer, specifically? Applicant, sitting in a nicer chair than this one. Interviewer, you notice the chair? Applicant, it's judging me. Interviewer, the chair? Applicant, I can feel it. Interviewer, right. Tell me about your previous job. Applicant, I worked in customer service. Interviewer, why did you leave? Applicant, mutual decision. Interviewer, meaning? Applicant, they wanted me to leave. Interviewer, that's not exactly mutual. Applicant, I agreed eventually. Interviewer, what did you learn there? Applicant, never answer the phone while chewing potato chips. Interviewer, valuable lesson. Applicant, very crunchy consequences. Interviewer, if a customer is angry, how would you calm them down? Applicant, I'd let them finish talking. Interviewer, then? Applicant, I'd ask if they'd like a snack. Interviewer, a snack? Applicant, nobody argues as effectively while eating cookies. Interviewer, that's strangely believable. Applicant, thank you. Interviewer, let's test your problem-solving skills. Imagine the printer stops working. Applicant, I'd stare at it. Interviewer, then? Applicant, press one random button. Interviewer, then? Applicant, press another. Interviewer, then? Applicant, find the office expert. Interviewer, and who is that? Applicant, whoever says, move over. Interviewer, fair enough. Let's try teamwork. How do coworkers describe you? Applicant, usually by my name. Interviewer, I mean your personality. Applicant, oh, probably he's here. Interviewer, that's not very descriptive. Applicant, they also say, who ate my lunch? Interviewer, was it you? Applicant, once. Interviewer, once. Applicant, that they proved. Interviewer, interesting choice of words. If you could be any animal, what would you be? Applicant, a squirrel. Interviewer, why? Applicant, they always look busy. Interviewer, are they? Applicant, doesn't matter. They look productive. Interviewer, clever. Suppose you're late to work. What do you do? Applicant, arrive confidently. Interviewer, confidently? Applicant, if you look rushed, people ask questions. Interviewer, so confidence solves everything? Applicant, it hasn't so far. But I'm committed. Interviewer, do you have any special skills? Applicant, I can remember song lyrics from 10 years ago, but not why I walked into the kitchen. Interviewer, that's surprisingly relatable. Applicant, thank you. Interviewer, final question. Why should we hire you over everyone else? Applicant, because if you don't, I'll probably apply again next week. Interviewer, persistent. Applicant, my mom calls it determination. Interviewer, does your mom know you're here? Applicant, she drove me. Interviewer, of course she did. Applicant, She said to tell you I'm a nice young man. Interviewer, she sounds supportive. Applicant, she also packed me a juice box. Interviewer, is it in your bag? Applicant, would you like one? Interviewer, applicant, apple flavor. Interviewer, you know what? Applicant, yes. Interviewer, you're either going to become our best employee, or the reason we need a new company policy. Applicant, so is that a yes? Interviewer, honestly, I'm not even sure, but this has been the most entertaining interview. Max, I've got a question. Sam, every time you say that, I lose confidence in humanity. Max, what if fish think we're the aquarium? Sam, then they're probably wondering why the giant creature outside keeps paying taxes. Max, fair point. Sam, thank you. Max, what if pigeons are actually undercover detectives? Sam, then they're doing a terrible job. I've seen one lose an argument with a French fry. Max, that's exactly what an undercover detective would want you to think. Sam, you give pigeons too much credit. Max, what if clouds are just mountains that forgot how to land? Sam, then your brain forgot how to stop. Max, think about it though. Sam, I'd rather not. Max, what if mirrors are just windows where the other universe copied us? Sam, if there's another universe with another you, I feel genuinely sorry for them. Max, wow. Sam, they deserve better. Max, what if every time we yawn, our soul is buffering? Sam, no. Max, you didn't even think about it. Sam, because I enjoy happiness. Max, what if dinosaurs actually invented Wi-Fi, but the password went extinct? Sam, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Max, you hesitated. Sam, because I was deciding whether to laugh or leave. Max, what if shoes secretly hate feet? Sam, then why do they spend all day together? Max, they're trapped. Sam, you're trapped inside your own imagination. Max, what if chairs are just tables that gave up? Sam, and you're a philosopher that gave up halfway. Max, ouch. Sam, accurate. Max, what if birds are singing because they're gossiping? Sam, about what? Max, look at that human. He walked into the same pole again. Sam, honestly, I'd gossip too. Max, see. Sam, don't celebrate. That doesn't mean the rest of your ideas are good. Max, what if sleep is just our body's loading screen? Sam, then yours keeps crashing. Max, that's rude. Sam, it's efficient. Max, what if mosquitoes are tiny flying vampires? Sam, congratulations. You just described a mosquito. Max, wait, really? Sam, yes. Max, I thought I invented something. Sam, the only thing you invented was disappointment. Max, what if dogs think throwing the ball is our favorite hobby? Sam, have you seen us? We throw it. They bring it back. We throw it again. Honestly, they're probably wondering why we're so easily entertained. Max, exactly. Sam, stop getting excited. Max, what if the moon follows us home because it's lonely? Sam, or maybe, you're moving. Max, that's what the moon wants you to think. Sam, the moon doesn't think about you. Max, that's harsh. Sam, reality usually is. Max, what if invisible people are just really good at hide and seek? Sam, then why are they invisible? Max, to win. Sam, you'd still lose. Max, what if our phones are secretly listening? Sam, Max, they literally ask for micro... Sam, Max, see? You're curious. Sam, no. I'm just trying to figure out how someone can think this much and still make absolutely no sense. Max, I'll take that as a compliment. Sam, I was afraid you would.
Ethan, you ever notice how your life is basically a series of bad decisions connected by snacks? Lucas, excuse me. Some of those decisions also involve coffee. Ethan, that somehow works. Lucas, coffee doesn't solve problems. Ethan, then why do you drink 4 cups every morning? Lucas, so I have the energy to create new problems. Ethan, finally, some honesty. Lucas, speaking of honesty, I saw your search history yesterday. Ethan, you went through my phone? Lucas, no. You were screen sharing by accident. Ethan, how long? Lucas, long enough to know you searched. Can ducks recognize human faces? Ethan, they can. Lucas, that's not the point. Ethan, it became the point after I searched it. Lucas, why were you even wondering that? Ethan, one duck looked at me twice. Lucas, it probably remembered the guy feeding it bread. Ethan, I wasn't feeding it. Lucas, exactly. Ethan, harsh. Lucas, accurate. Ethan, at least I'm curious. Lucas, you're so curious you'd open a box labeled, "Definitely don't open." Ethan, I'd at least peek. Lucas, that's how horror movies start. Ethan, that's how discounts are found too. Lucas, those two things have never been related. Ethan, you don't know that. Lucas, you click on a pop-up saying, "Congratulations, you won absolutely nothing." Ethan, I'd want to know how I won. Lucas, you are exactly why warning labels exist. Ethan, someone has to test society. Lucas, society keeps failing because of you. Ethan, speaking of failing, remember your driving test? Lucas, I passed. Ethan, on the third attempt. Lucas, experience matters. Ethan, the instructor looked older after every lesson. Lucas, character building. Ethan, for him. Lucas, he survived. Ethan, barely. Lucas, you shouldn't talk. You once got lost in a parking lot. Ethan, it was a very complicated parking lot. Lucas, it had 4 rows. Ethan, they all looked judgmental. Lucas, parking spaces don't judge people. Ethan, mine did. Lucas, that's called guilt. Ethan, same thing. Lucas, you know what's scary? Ethan, mirrors? Lucas, no. The fact that if zombies ever appeared, you'd definitely stop to ask one question. Ethan, of course. Lucas, like what? Ethan, how's the whole zombie thing working out? Lucas, while it's trying to eat you. Ethan, that's what makes it an interview. Lucas, your obituary would say, died gathering unnecessary information. Ethan, at least I'd be remembered. Lucas, mostly as a warning. Ethan, better than being forgotten. Lucas, fair. Ethan, if a ghost haunted your house, what would you do? Lucas, move. Ethan, just like that? Lucas, I'm not arguing with someone who already survived death. Ethan, smart. Lucas, thank you. Ethan, I tried to negotiate. Lucas, of course you would. Ethan, you haunt the upstairs. I'll take downstairs. Lucas, that's not how ghosts work. Ethan, have you asked one? Lucas, no. Ethan, exactly. Lucas, somehow you make terrible ideas sound reasonable. Ethan, that's my gift. Lucas, it's definitely something. Ethan, you know, if I ever disappear mysteriously. Lucas, it'll probably be because you followed a sign saying, "Secret tunnel." Ethan, curiosity is important. Lucas, survival is more important. Ethan, that's debatable. Lucas, only to you. Ethan, imagine finding a mysterious red button. Lucas, I wouldn't press it. Ethan, liar. Lucas, I absolutely wouldn't. Ethan, you'd stand there wondering what it does. Lucas, maybe. Ethan, then I'd press it. Lucas, exactly my point. Ethan, what if it gives us $1 million? Lucas, what if it launches a rocket? Ethan, free fireworks. Lucas, you're impossible. Ethan, optimistic. Lucas, delusional. Ethan, visionary. Lucas, future headline. Ethan, local man accidentally becomes legend. Lucas, more like. Local man causes extremely avoidable situation. Ethan, still made the news. Lucas, you don't care whether it's good news or bad news, do you? Ethan, headlines are headlines. Lucas, that's the most concerning thing you've ever said. Ethan, thanks. Lucas, that wasn't a compliment. Ethan, I collected it anyway. Lucas, if common sense had a biggest enemy. Ethan, it'd be me. Lucas, I'm glad we're finally agreeing. Ethan, but admit it. Life would be boring if everyone thought like you. Lucas, maybe. Ethan, you need one friend who's willing to ask, what happens if we pull this lever? Lucas, and everyone else needs to stop that friend. Ethan, balance. Lucas, exactly. Ethan, so, hypothetically, if you found a suitcase full of money in the middle of nowhere. Lucas, I'm walking away. Ethan, really? Lucas, absolutely. Ethan, I'm opening it. Lucas, I know. Ethan, aren't you even a little curious? Lucas, I am. Ethan, then why wouldn't you look? Lucas, because every terrible story in history starts with someone saying, I was just curious. Ethan, fair point. Lucas, thank you.
Host, welcome back to another episode of Did You Know? The only show where you'll either learn something useful or question why you stayed this long. Host, did you know that octopuses have 3 hearts? Friend, 3 hearts? Host, yep. 2 pump blood to the gills, and 1 pumps blood to the rest of the body. Friend, I can barely keep one heart happy. Host, it gets even stranger. When an octopus swims, the heart that pumps blood to the body actually stops beating. Friend, so even its heart says, I'm not doing cardio. Host, pretty much. Friend, respect. Host, did you know bananas are technically berries, but strawberries aren't? Friend, whoever named fruit was just making things up. Host, scientists use a botanical definition that's different from the one most people expect. Friend, so my fruit salad has trust issues now. Host, exactly. Host, did you know honey never really spoils? Friend, you're telling me the honey in my cupboard could outlive me? Host, if it's stored properly, it can last for an incredibly long time. Friend, great. My honey has a better retirement plan than I do. Host, did you know sharks existed before trees? Friend, hold on. Trees looked at sharks and said, we'll show up later. Host, pretty much. Friend, that's the weirdest timeline I've ever heard. Host, did you know your stomach gets a new lining every few days? Friend, good. Host, why good? Friend, because after the amount of spicy food I eat, I owe it an apology. Host, fair enough. Host, did you know wombats produce cube-shaped poop? Friend, I'm sorry, cube-shaped? Host, scientists believe it helps keep the droppings from rolling away. Friend, even their poop has better engineering than some buildings. Host, nature is creative. Friend, nature also needs to explain itself sometimes. Host, did you know that a day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus? Friend, imagine celebrating your birthday before tomorrow arrives. Host, exactly. Friend, I'd still be late to work somehow. Host, did you know crows can recognize human faces? Friend, so if I'm rude to one crow, host, it might remember you. Friend, fantastic. Host, they can even communicate with other crows about people they've seen. Friend, so crows have neighborhood gossip? Host, pretty much. Friend, I'm apologizing to every crow I've ever ignored. Host,
Ladies and gentlemen, I have officially met the smartest idiot in human history. His name is Bob. Bob has confidence so powerful that facts actually get nervous around him. One morning, Bob proudly announced, I'm becoming an adult today. We all clapped. 5 minutes later, he Googled how to boil cereal. Not eggs, not pasta, cereal. When we asked why, he said, "I like my breakfast warm." You know what? Nobody argued. We wanted to see where this was going. The smoke detector started screaming before the stove even turned on. It somehow sensed Bob's intentions. After breakfast failed spectacularly, Bob decided he needed exercise. Instead of going to the gym, he watched motivational videos for 3 hours. At the end, he stood up, wiped imaginary sweat from his forehead and said, "Great workout." Calories looked at him and said, "We're staying." Then he bought a smartwatch, not to tell the time, to tell other people he had a smartwatch. Every 5 minutes, he'd stare dramatically at his wrist and nod. "What time is it?" I asked. "No idea," he replied. "The battery died yesterday." Bob once tried meditation. The instructor said, "Clear your mind." Bob accidentally succeeded. An hour later, he forgot why he was there and introduced himself to the instructor twice. One day, Bob claimed he could fix anything. Perfect. My chair squeaked. He grabbed a banana. I asked, "Why the banana?" He whispered, "Trust the process." The chair still squeaked, but now it smelled like a fruit salad. His confidence never changed. That's the incredible thing about Bob. Failure wasn't a lesson, it was just an achievement with bad marketing. Then came grocery shopping. Bob wanted to save money. He compared prices for 45 minutes, walked out proudly, forgot the groceries, spent $20 on parking. Economists are still studying this strategy. Bob also believed every life hack on the internet. Someone said, "Freezing your socks makes mornings exciting." He tried it. Now, every morning starts with him screaming loud enough to remind the neighborhood that penguins probably deserve more respect. Another video claimed talking to plants helps them grow. Bob held hour-long conversations with a cactus. The cactus leaned away. Scientists don't know how, but witnesses insist it happened. One afternoon, Bob decided to become a detective. He bought sunglasses, a notebook, a magnifying glass, then spent 30 minutes searching for his phone. While using the flashlight on his phone, he proudly announced, "Case solved." Nobody had a heart to tell him. The phone battery did, at 10%. Bob once entered a cooking competition. The judges asked what he had prepared. He smiled confidently. "Surprise soup." "What makes it a surprise?" "I don't know what's in it either." The judges looked terrified. One of them quietly updated his will. Bob's biggest dream was becoming rich. His business plan, selling umbrellas only on sunny days because people won't already have one. He called it creating future demand. His bank account called it performance art. He tried online dating too. His profile said, "I enjoy long walks." True, mostly because he kept forgetting where he parked. He also wrote, "Excellent listener." Also true, mostly because nobody let him speak after the cereal incident. One evening, we convinced Bob to play hide and seek. He counted to 100, opened his eyes, couldn't remember who he was looking for, went home, declared victory. Weeks later, he accidentally found one of us behind a shed. He screamed louder than the person hiding. Bob bought a parrot because he wanted intelligent conversation. 3 days later, the parrot had learned exactly one sentence. "Bob, don't touch that." The bird repeated it so often that visitors assumed it was the homeowner. Honestly, it probably should have been. The final masterpiece happened at the airport. Bob packed perfectly. Passport, tickets, clothes, snacks, headphones, everything. He arrived early, waited patiently, bought expensive coffee, watched 3 airplanes leave, then realized he was at the train station. Nobody knows how, not even Bob. He simply nodded thoughtfully and said, "That explains the lack of wings." To this day, whenever life gets difficult, I remember Bob. Because no matter how badly your day is going, at least you aren't trying to reboot your refrigerator because the TV remote stopped working. I hope. Although, if Bob is listening right now, there's probably a refrigerator somewhere waiting very nervously.
Everyone has that one friend who somehow survives entirely on confidence. Mine is named Jerry. If confidence could be converted into electricity, Jerry could power an entire city. Unfortunately, confidence cannot fix stupid. One Saturday morning, Jerry burst into my house and proudly announced, "I've decided to become a millionaire." How? I haven't figured that part out yet. I just wanted to get the motivation started. Fair enough. His first business idea was renting out chairs. Not fancy chairs. Just chairs. People get tired, he explained. They already own chairs. Exactly. That's why they'll appreciate mine. His first customer was his own uncle, who accidentally sat down before Jerry could charge him. Business closed after 6 minutes. Jerry refused to give up. He watched one motivational video and immediately started walking around the neighborhood with his hands behind his back like a billionaire inspecting his factories. The only thing he actually owned was a backpack with a broken zipper. Then he decided he needed to become more mysterious. For an entire week he answered every question with, "You'll understand soon." "Jerry, what would you like for dinner?" "You'll understand soon." "Jerry, why are you standing in the rain?" "You'll understand soon." Eventually even Jerry forgot what people were supposed to understand. One afternoon he bought a whiteboard so he could organize his life. Across the top he wrote in giant letters, "Master Plan." Underneath that, nothing. Every evening he'd stand in front of the empty board with his arms crossed, nod thoughtfully, then leave. He called it thinking visually. Jerry also became fascinated with birds. Not because he liked nature. He simply believed pigeons were secretly employed by the government. Every time one landed nearby he'd whisper, "They're watching." The pigeon was usually watching someone else's sandwich. Once Jerry tried to impress everyone by learning magic tricks. He bought a deck of cards and confidently announced, "Pick a card." I picked one. He stared at me for almost a full minute. Finally he sighed. "I was really hoping you'd pick a different one." His magic career disappeared faster than the card trick. One day he announced he was becoming a photographer. He spent 2 hours taking artistic pictures of clouds. When he proudly showed us the results, every photo looked exactly the same. "This one has emotion," he insisted. "Jerry, it's a cloud." He entered a local photo contest anyway. He didn't win. One judge wrote, "Needs more ground." Jerry framed the comment and called it constructive criticism. His next obsession was reading. He bought 10 self-improvement books. He carefully arranged them on a shelf. Then declared he felt smarter just owning them. The bookmarks remained factory fresh. Jerry loved giving speeches despite nobody asking for one. If someone sneezed, he'd somehow turn it into a